National League award predictions for 2024. Manager of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, and Most Valuable Player. We've got a dark horse candidate for each category. We've got the obvious pick, and then we've got my pick. Some of them you won't be surprised. Some of them, maybe you will be. I'm not entirely sure. I like to think a lot of the guys competing for those spots, positions, awards last year will be doing so. And there's some obvious choices for this upcoming season. That being said, I got my predictions and I've got some dark horse candidates for you to at least consider coming into this 2024 season. So without any further ado, 2024 predictions, National League awards. Starting off first with Manager of the Year. It's interesting because I've got some teams in my predictions that I'm like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs. Oh, they won't make the playoffs. Oh, this, oh, that. In that case, if the predictions go if the season unfolds the way I predict it to with my projections, there's value in all three of these picks. My dark horse is the Padres' new manager, Mike Shildt. To take a team like the Padres back to the playoffs after missing the playoffs last year in his first year on the job, there's definitely some value for Mike Shildt as a dark horse manager of the year at plus 900. Okay. The problem is the team's super loaded. So it's going to get diluted a little bit and people are going to see, oh, the Padres made the playoffs. Well, yeah, of course they did. They have Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish, and then Dylan Cease. Of course they did. And it's like, okay, well, if they win 95 games, Mike Shildt might be manager of the year. But if they just make the playoffs and they just win 85 to 87, he probably won't. But there's some value there as a dark horse for Mike Shildt as NL Manager of the Year. My safe pick is Craig Counsell because I think A, the NL Central is terrible, which gives the Cubs a good opportunity. B, he's a great manager. He's the betting favorite. And C, it's his first year on the job. So if he goes out and wins the National League Central as the Cubs manager in his first year, he's going to get Manager of the Year. He just will. He will. The Cubs are good, but they're not like super tout everywhere. They're not like loaded, right? Like Dave Roberts, for example, right? He's never going to win Manager of the Year because the Dodgers are just so loaded. He could sit there and throw darts at a board to build his lineup every day and they would win 100 games. With the Cubs, it's going to require a little bit more strategy, a little bit more managerial input and influence. And in the case of Craig Counsell, he knows what he's doing. He's done it repeatedly and consistently in Milwaukee with the Brewers. It was quite the shocker for him to just up and bounce out of Milwaukee and the Cubs go, hey, David Ross, you're out of here. And Craig Counsell goes over there and signs the most expensive manager contract of all time. Is he that good of a manager? I don't know. But he's got Manager of the Year on a silver platter for him if he goes out and wins that division. I'm not taking Craig Counsell. I'm not taking Mike Shildt. My pick is the Reds manager, David Bell. And that's based on my projections and predictions of the Reds making the playoffs. If the Reds make the playoffs in any capacity, David Bell will win Manager of the Year. That's a guarantee. They're young, they're exciting, they're electric. David Bell leads the charge in a lot of those categories. He gets fired up. He gets in umpires' faces. He's emotional. I think he's a great guy to lead the group they have there in Cincinnati. And if the Reds find themselves playing meaningful games in the end of September, October, David Bell will be the Manager of the Year. He's my pick. He's plus 600. That's pretty decent value. That's basically just depending on how the Reds finish. The Reds finish at 500. He probably won't. But like I said, if they're playing meaningful games, wild card round, they don't even have to win anything in the playoffs, in my opinion. They just have to get there. And if they do, David Bell's Manager of the Year. So that's my pick. That's my prediction for National League Manager of the Year. Up next, NL Rookie of the Year. Interesting category. Dark horse, safe pick, and my pick. My dark horse is my boy Jackson Merrill on the San Diego Padres. This category is going to be hard for anybody that's not from the Dodgers and a right-handed pitcher who came over from Japan and signed a 10-year contract. However, Jackson Merrill has the opportunity to be an influential player on a team that makes the postseason, and being that he's a rookie and playing a premier position in center field, there's a dark horse value there for Jackson Merrill on the Padres. Plus 1,200 is a big number. I don't think he's going to overtake or surpass my safe pick and the pick, but there's value there for Jackson Merrill. I love Jackson Merrill. I think he's good. Time will tell, but I do think there's certainly value there in some capacity. The safe pick is Yoshinobu Yamamoto, plus 170. Heavy favorite. Like by a lot, by a ton, as he should be. Plus 170. He's not only a safe pick, he is my pick. He was too safe of a pick to not. It's the same thing I kind of did last year with Masataka Yoshida. coming over from Japan, signing with the Red Sox. I don't know if he won actually Rookie of the Year. I can't remember. Regardless, Yamamoto's not a rookie, right? It's a kind of a flaw with this category and these awards. I mean, yes, he's a rookie in Major League Baseball. He's not a rookie in professional baseball. He's done nothing but dominate in Japan. And now here he is in the United States, coming over on a team like the Dodgers with unbelievable stuff, signing a 10-year contract for $300 million. I don't know exactly his age. I would assume late 20s. Regardless, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. If he makes 25 starts, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. That's just what it is. It was hard to venture off of Yamamoto and go anywhere else. You could have gone Jackson Trio, the prospect for the Brewers, because he's a big time prospect guy. There's a couple other guys I think you could have thought about, but I think ultimately Yamamoto is just too much of a dominant to take anything else. So I've got Yamamoto plus 150 NL Rookie of the Year. Pretty much take that one to the bank. Next, National League Cy Young. Cy Young, baby. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I talked about Tyler Glasnow when I talked about the Dodgers. And in terms of a dark horse, I think Tyler Glasnow could be that guy. Plus 1,400. Most people in the sport of baseball will tell you this season, if Tyler Glasnow manages to make 30 starts, he'll be a top 5 Cy Young guy. I mean, he's that good. High 90s fastball, absolutely disgusting breaking ball. I think he's throwing a splitter now, split change. Dodgers develop pitching better than anybody else, at least in the National League. The only thing with Glasnow is the health, man. That's it. That is literally the only thing. He is a dark horse. Plus 1,400 is pretty steep odds, but there's value there. Like I said, if he manages to stay healthy, it might be worth a little sprinkle at plus 1,400. The safe pick is Spencer Strider, another really talented team. The ace on that team has done nothing but find himself in Cy Young conversations the last 2 seasons. His legs are the size of tree trunks. He's gotten progressively better. He's thrown more innings. He strikes out a ton of dudes. He's the betting favorite. Plus 450, the safe pick. I wouldn't mind taking this. I don't think it's a bad pick. Plus 450 is pretty good value for probably the leading candidate, in my opinion. But that's not my pick. I like Spencer Strider. I like the Braves. I like what he does. But he is not going to win the Cy Young, at least according to my predictions and projections, because my pick for NL Cy Young is Zach Wheeler on the Phillies. Plus 850 for Zach Wheeler and NL Cy Young is criminally low. He just signed an extension with the Phillies. This dude is like a combination of Spencer Strider and Tyler Glasnow, where he does get hurt sometimes, but he doesn't get hurt as much as Tyler Glasnow. Stuff-wise, he's as good or better than Spencer Strider. His 3/4 arm delivery, his vertical approach angle, all the pitches in his repertoire, the velo that he's had, the consistency he's displayed. If Zach Wheeler can make 27 to 30 starts, I think he comes out with the Cy Young. He's just too good. Like I said, sinker, slider, curveball, change, split. Like, I'm telling you guys, Zach Wheeler, I think, is the best pitcher in the National League. I think he's better than Spencer Strider. Thing is, he's got to stay healthy. That's why Strider's up there as the favorite. Zach Wheeler kind of peters off. He's had a little bit of, Wheeler's had some pockets of inconsistency in his career, but ever since he's been on the Phillies, man, he has been nothing but dominant when he's out there at full strength. I mean, he's been nasty. And I got Zach Wheeler as my pick for NL Cy Young. Plus 850, really good odds, really good value. Sprinkle $5 on that, $10. Bring home 85. If he wins it, like I like that. I like Zach Wheeler a lot. Maybe there's some lasting scar tissue from the 2022 playoffs when he pitched against the Padres twice, and absolutely shoved it both times. Shoved it. He's disgusting. And I think the extension really is going to let him settle in a little bit with the Phils. They got Aaron Nola back. He doesn't have to be the guy. He just has to go out and make starts. And when he goes out and makes starts, he's gross. And when he's gross, he wins the Cy Young. I have him as my pick for National League Cy Young. Zach Wheeler, plus 850, 2024. Take it or leave it. Last category of predictions for 2024. MVP. National League MVP. Most valuable player. Who won it last year? That's right. The guy who went 40-70 in Ronald Acuna. 40-70 is so crazy. I just want you guys to understand that. Like, that is so astronomically absurd that it's hard to not pick him again. I didn't pick him again, but it's hard not to. My dark horse MVP is my guy, Fernando Tatis Jr. Guy hasn't played a full season in 3 years from either injuries or suspensions again. Last year, missing 20 games. The year he spent the most time playing was 2021 when he had a dislocated shoulder and he hit 40 homers. He's fast. He won a platinum glove last year. I'm not saying he's going to win MVP. If he plays 145 to 150 games, he's going to be top 3 in MVP. That's a guarantee. That's the problem. He's got to stay on the field, which he did last year. But his defense in right field has significantly jumped his value, in my opinion. And he's a good enough hitter, and he's got the protection, and he's got to just stay on the field and hit in the top part of the order and cut down on the swing and miss a smidge, and he might win might win MVP. That's where we're at. I mean, no one's disputing Tatis as a talent level guy. And I got him as a dark horse plus 1,000. I think those are good odds for a dark horse guy like Tatis. Safe pick. I mentioned him already. Ronald Acuna Jr. plus 500, 40-70 last year. Fast arm, homers, slug, everything. The guy is crazy. He's a created player in MLB The Show. He's a video game. He's unfathomable to watch. He hits everything 1,000 feet at a 120 exit velo. He's electric, plays with emotion. It's a safe pick. It's an easy pick. If he plays 155 games, 150 games, he'll probably win it. You don't know. You don't know. Regression from last year, 40-70, maybe a little bit. Still could easily go 30-30. Ronald Acuna Jr. could go 30-30 in his sleep, doing everything left-handed, running backwards. That's how good he is. He plays 150 games, give him the trophy. But he's got to have some competition, not only with Fernando Tatis Jr., my dark horse, and not only with, of course, the rest of the league and some of his teammates, but my pick. And my pick for NL MVP is Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts, plus 650, second best, or whatever you want to say, second favorite above Ronald Acuna Jr. I think you could have gone with Ohtani. He's not going to pitch, though. He's just exclusively going to hit. Could have gone with Freddie Freeman. Plays first base. Also teammates with these other two guys in Mookie and Ohtani. Not that he's not an unbelievable, amazing player, but the other aspects of your game that would, potentially put you over the top if it's a close race for MVP when it comes to things like the defensive position you play, wins above replacement, stolen bases, value, just overall defensively. Mookie Betts is going to play shortstop this season. That's crazy. Premier position. We know what he can do as a hitter. Last year, the guy was second in MVP. Now he's moving to shortstop. I mean, what else do you want me to say? It's, in my opinion, it's the obvious choice. He's going to have protection around him with Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. Last year, all he had was Freddie. Not all he had. The Dodgers were still loaded, and that top three was absurd. Last year, with Freddie Freeman, Mookie leading off, Freddie 2, Will Smith 3. Now it's Mookie, Freddie, Ohtani, Will Smith. Like, he's going to have to get pitched. I mean, he's just is going to have to get pitched to. He's so good. He's so talented. He's such an athlete. And he's going to be playing shortstop for the best team in baseball. To me, that's as obvious as it comes. Plus 650, NL MVP, Mookie Betts. I would be shocked if he doesn't win it this year. Actually, I wouldn't be shocked. If it was, I'll say it this way. If it's not one of these three guys, Fernando Tatis, Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, or Freddie Freeman, I would be shocked. I'd be shocked. I mean, that's just how it is. Ohtani, yeah, I guess technically, but again, like I said, only hitting unless the guy hits 60 homers, right? Which, I mean, maybe he could. If Mookie hits 30 homers this year, he wins MVP. Because that means he's going to have an OPS 940 or above. He's going to have 25, 30 bags. And he's playing shortstop. If he makes a couple highlight reel plays throughout the year, then that means his WAR is going to be at a pretty high level, probably higher than Acuna's. And today's day and age, recency bias, depending on where the Dodgers finish, probably going to put him over the top. I've got him as my pick for NL MVP at plus 650. So to recap, NL Manager of the Year, David Bell. That's my pick. NL Rookie of the Year, Yamamoto. National League Cy Young, Zach Wheeler, and NL MVP, Mookie Betts. I love those picks. I'm curious what everyone else thinks. I think those are as clear as day, as obvious as they come.